All living things exist within their own ecosystems. Oceans, forests, deserts, farmlands, and even cities. All this put together is biodiversity. It is the volume of life on Earth, as well as how the different species interact with each other and with the physical world around them.
The term biodiversity is from the phrase biological diversity, refers to the variety of life on Earth at all its levels, from genes to ecosystems, and can encompass the evolutionary, ecological, and cultural processes that sustain life. On the farm, maintaining biodiversity in crops is advantageous. Despite being controlled by people, farm remain ecosystems. Plant, soils, and animals are mutually dependent for nutrients and habitat. In a functioning agri-ecosystem, microorganisms in the soil offer nutrients to the plants, whose roots maintain the soil in place. Plants offer foods and shelter for insects and birds that pollinate them and control pest pollutions.
Consequent to the emergence of the Earth's biodiversity and the advantages it bestows us, it took 4 billion years of evolution to change in the inherited traits of a population of organisms from one generation to the next. Up until about 600 million years ago, life consisted of single-celled organisms. Imagine how long each ecosystem had undergone a process for it to be formed. Yet, it took a little while for us to destroy them.
Our team interviewed 3 individuals to ask about their feelings while looking at the photo presented to them.
What do you feel about this picture?
Malungkot kasi syempre lahat ng basura magkalat naman dito sa atin, sa paligid, sa mga dagat, kahit saan. Pwede naman natin pulutin, pero yung mga iba, dyan na nakikita mga basura, mabaho. Yung plastic bottle natin, pinag-inuman natin ng mga 5 minutes lang sa kamay natin. Then, kung itapon natin dyan sa basura, yung mga iba na pupunta sa dagat, halos taon, decades yung talagang nagtatagal yung plastic doon.
Nalulungkot ako dahil sa nakita kong litrato. Dahil sa dinami-daming litrato, pwede ko makita bakit ayun pa. Which is totoo naman. Gano'n na yung nangyayari sa kapaligiran natin. Bilang isang kabataan na katulad ko, hindi ito yung mundo na gusto kong tirhan. Dahil kung ganito na yung nangyayari ngayon, paano pa kaya sa future?
What are your thoughts on global warming?
Yung global warming kasi is malaking epekto sa atin. Lalo na yung mga mainit na panahon, biglang lalamig, yung mga ice sa taas, natutunaw na, nawawala na. At saka yung mga unexpected na mga ulan like mga typhoon.
Climate change. Tuloy natin nararanasan ito dahil sa mga iba't ibang pinagagawa ng mga tao na nakaka-apekto sa ating planeta.
Certainly, the variety of ecosystems is affected in distinct ways, which stem from the human activities that deliberately drives us to experience biodiversity loss. Most of us are aware that it is happening as we slowly feel the adverse effects. Nonetheless, we will be mainly focusing on farmland ecosystem, which is one of the main sources of food and livelihood in our country.
Farms provide us with food. They give us economic, environmental, and socio-cultural advantages. And we are all aware that farmland is an important local and natural resource, particularly in the agricultural economy. But what are the potential consequences if it is not protected? Desertification is one of the consequences. This occurs when the farmland loses its fertility and becomes barren. It often occurs when natural resources such as water and soil are depleted, making the land less capable to support vegetation. While desertification can occur naturally, it is becoming more common as a result of human activities such as overgrazing, intense farming, and infrastructural development. Another consequence is the loss of farmland. It is one of the most serious problems confronting the industry today, not only in the Philippines but throughout the world. Not only we are losing the farm, but we are also losing all of the businesses that support it, such as those who sell agricultural equipment, the processors, and seed suppliers. And all of this eventually goes away, changing the local economy in that community. Using concrete and pavements to convert farmland into developed spaces provides surfaces that do not absorb rainwater, which contributes to flooding. Unprotected farmland may also contribute to global famine because of agricultural crop shortages caused by the previous year's harvest not having enough to survive until the following season. This was caused by the environmental factors such as droughts that induce crop failures, food waste, and population expansion. These are just a few of the dangers that may occur if we do not protect farmland as soon as possible.
Ever since 10,000 years ago, people had used farmlands in planting their crops to provide food in the table. Up until now, as society advanced with growing economies and intervention of technologies, the value of this ecosystem is enormous and unquestionable. Farmlands provide humans food, forage, bioenergy, and pharmaceuticals, which are essential to human well-being. Aside from feeding our country, farmland provides economic, social, and ecological benefits as well. It has the potential to store water, increase water quality, provide pollinator and wildlife habitat, sequester carbon, and much more. While in the economic aspect, with the explosion of nurseries, vegetable farms, vineyards, and other crop industries in the Philippines, it have shown remarkable economic opportunities, which improve the livelihood of many. Ecological and social importance include social heritage, scenic views, open space, and community character. Overall, the importance of farmland includes meeting our needs by providing us a wide selection of agricultural products and services.
Farming plays a vital role in our lives. It is where we get the supply of food production for our day-to-day living. And farmers work hard not just to produce food to feed the world, but also to protect the environment for the next generation. So the question is, how are we going to protect our farmland? First, we should practice responsible farming. We should build a healthy soil by refraining from using pesticides or any other chemical products that can harm or destroy the overall nutrients of the soil. Second, conservation of tillage or no-till farming. This aims at addressing wind and water erosion by covering the earth with vegetation, which also limits the number of tilling operations. No-till farming assists in soil conservation as well, since it implies no or minimum disturbance and planting seeds into the crop residue. The idea of no-till farming is not to leave the soil bare, because as we all know, bare areas are highly prone to erosion, wherein it may lead to the destruction of the overall areas of farmland. And third, we should practice the use of mulch. The use of mulch essentially entails adding some form of organic material into the crop growing cycle. By adding mulch into the soil and mixing it to the ground, the soil is able to stay fertile and healthy year-round. And the type of mulch commonly used are sawdust, dried leaves, wood chips, and any other organic wastes. Our role as a human being is to protect and preserve our ecosystem, not just to improve our quality life, but also for the future generation.
Let this short advocacy video remind you that you play a vital role in preserving our biodiversity. You should not take a blind eye and start becoming a part of the solution. As some people say, kapag mulat ka na sa katotohanan, kasalanan ng pumikit. Bear in mind that small practices can also make a difference. So what are you waiting for? Lend your hand, and all together, let us save this planet.